Here's where I have us on page Taf Kuf Pei Aleph. And we're over here on number Aleph. So he says, Reba Eitz Chaim, Ofen Nusaf shall his Kalulus Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna Ba'oz Hey. There's another way that we could look at how you see Abba V'Ima both in the letter Hey. That is Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna. Behind the Yisrael Sabbat Kalu B'Milu Yud. So it has also incorporated in it the Milu of Yud, Yud Vav Daled, shall Oz Hey Yud the Tavuna. So now you have this Yud. If you spell the Hey like that, Hey Yud, then you'll wind up with the same properties as that you'd have a Yud Vav Daled there. Let me see, Sab, okay? The Devuna, Vazel Lishono Sham, this is what it says. Amnam Yisrael Saba, we see that Yisrael Saba, Machse Tachton the Bina, the Ma, which is the half of the lower half of the Bina of Ma, the Devuna, and Devuna, Bina Shlema the Ben, which is the whole Ben of the Ben, how they're put together there. The Chain Nikra Shnechem Bina the Vad, so the two of them together are Bina the Vad. Let me read this again. He said, Amna Yisrael Saba, Mechetze Tachton de Bina de Ma. So the Bina of Ma, assuming that Ma has 10 spheros, and there's a Bina there, and then Tavuna, the Bina Shalema comes from the Bina, complete Bina, Bina. I guess that's how they're composed. The Chain Nikra Shnechem Bina Levad, so therefore they're called just by the name Bina. So you have a half of one, and you have a whole of the other, they're called by the name Bina. The Hey Rishona Shebashem, so this is the original Hey, the first Hey of the name of Hashem. V'oz Abba v'Yisrael, which is Yisrael Saba. Tamer v'Gonis, he's hidden inside. Kigam Yisrael Saba, who Yud Demilui Hey Yud, because Yisrael Saba is also that Yud that comes into Milui, which is Hey Yud. So we're looking here at the Hey Yud versus the Kutza, the Sa'ari, the Kutza rather, that we were talking about on the right corner, Ad Kan. V'yeshnam kama bi'urim mefarshei ha'etz chaim. There's a lot of things to be said over there. V'yesh mefarshim shehem shmuos cholukos ha'im Yisrael Saba Kalu b'tavuna, v'uketz hayamini, whether it's talking about whether it's that little point on the right side, Kedivir Rizal, which is what the Rizal said, Bishar Mekomos, and then there's lots of other places. Oh, Yisrael Sava Kalu b'tavuna b'milu Yud shall Oz Hey. So he's into that. Eitz Chaim, like we said over here in Eitz Chaim Khan. Yesh Mefarshim, so there are Mefarshim, that they both, they hold that it's both. Ki Yisrael Sava Kalu b'tavuna, heim ba'ukutz yemini, v'heim b'mitchu Yud shel Hey Yud. Now why would you need two? Ki yeshes kalus heim b'gufa os, v'heim b'mitchu os. So there's a way that they're incorporated, whether you look at it as the goof itself of the letter, Hey b'milu or you look at it, Hey Yud, there's going to be something there. So he has a ha'ara here, he says Rei b'ha'ara. So we'll take a look at the ha'ara, I think, number Yud Aleph, if we have time. He says, so let's read, just a little bit more. He says, Amna the Chorah, though Yisakin the forest, so you really can't explain Cain. But Guvon the Sifra that's Niyuta Kan, you can't really put it together. That's Shahare Kazim, but no Sachel Sifra, the Niyuta itself. Milui Os Hey, Ba'os Aleph. So there, Sifra the Niyuta doesn't write it Hey Yud. So therefore, how do you work that out? Kach B'Yud K, so also Yud K. So you see like that, it's Yud K. That's the way the Sifra that's Niyuta writes it. It doesn't say K Yud. If it wrote K Yud, there would be an indication there. So sometimes it does write KU, but not over here. Kachu nusach called the Fusim V'Ksivyan. Beta the Fi Derek Zeh. So according to that, then So then you had to write it, the hey yud, like this, b'yud k. It'd have to be like that in order to make that drush work out. Now, let's see if we have just a few minutes, and we'll look here at the bottom. See if we can get this. He says, like Rei B'Shem and Sason, ala Eitz Chaim Sham, so he has over there, Shehiksha, the Shmuas Dososras Haim Ein Sham, that they actually said this is really, they contradict each other. So also over there. Now, he says, right, Shakazan Sham, Beis Sugyas Hafkil. So he writes both of them, and, they're opposite of each other. So therefore he makes a very special effort, the Yasha Shnechem Emes, and to show that they're both true. And so he says, Amnam, so we see like this, Midach, from the other one, Rei B'Shem and Salsa, look over there, he says, Shakasav, the Devaichu Isnahu B'Zon, he says that both of them work. She Yisrael Sava Nirmaz, Gam, B'Yud Shal Milui Ahei, so it also is over there too. V'Gam Ba'uk, it's also in that little corner spot, Ahei B'Karen Zavis, over there in that corner. So but that's simple, that's the way it is. I guess that's the Sadeh. And I guess this is his Sefer, Diglei Ava. So it's in that Sefer. Shetiritz came Bedochik, he says that, he squeezed himself, he made an answer. But he says that's not really, I'm not sure what he means here. So Shira came Bedochik, and that same what he says it was under Dochik, he says that's not Dochik. I can't. Now, what does that mean? For who divrei, I guess that's who divrei, or the Vahabav Dalad. I'm not sure which that is there. Bahagovi Sham, he says you read in the Govi, became Sifra Shlomo, Bekerim Shlomo, I'm sorry. Al Eitz Chaim Khan, and he says what? So beside the fact there's a remez here of Yisrael Sava B'chutz Shalahei Ela Nirmaz Gan came B'Yud D'Mivui Hey Yud B'Ritzon L'Lom so he says it both. B'Ritzon L'Lom Hey Yud Shalakutz, that is the Yud of the Kutz, the Hey Kashrotz of the Hizgalos. This has to do with this concept. It's when it wants to reveal itself. Now, exactly what that means, I don't know. Tisgala b'mivkui shalahei, so therefore it could be revealed in the milui of the hay. He yud de milui hay. That's that yud de milui hay. Okay. But so it has to do something with this concept that it wants to be. That Hashem wants it to be bisgalit. Originally it was on the right side. So I guess there it's kind of hidden. Is that what we're supposed to say? But now it's like by itself. And it's, no, it's not attached to the hay. It's really an extension. Something like that. Small the hay, and then you saw that there's a remez to it. On the left side then of the hay move, I guess it means to say that it moves to the left, moves to where it becomes now hey yud. That's a yud there. I got. So apparently the Grua's into something like this too. That the Bible is that both of these things, that there's some kind of movement involved in being on the right side and moving to the left side, has something to do with being revealing itself. I'm not sure what that means. That the Bible is that they have both of these things here. Ki Yisrael salva kolu b'tavuna, hein ba'oketz hayamini, v'hein b'milu yud, shel hayud, shel hayud. So it's in both. Ki yesh is kalos, hein beguf ha'os, v'hein b'milu ha'os. So there's some kind of incorporation we're talking about. When we're talking about the body of the os, or we're talking about the milu of the os, they're actually the same idea, he wants to say. I guess can we do a little bit more, or?
Yeah.
A little bit more. Now, he came also over here to, in the question over here in the, on the Eitz Chaim, He said that, normally we're dealing with Hey Aleph, not Hey Yud, especially because that's what the Sifra Tzniota said. That's actually our Girsa. So why do we switch over to the Hey Yud? We'll start with B'Yud Kei V'Kein Ku Nusach Kol Hadfusim V'Ksev Yad Ve'lu V'Fi Derek Zechab Choyet Sarach Lichtov Milui Oz Hey B'Oz Yud Vov Dalad Kach B'Yud Kei. Now I'm not sure exactly what he like Hey Yud, so I'm not sure exactly what he wants to say there. He comes over, here's a small piece. He says, Rei Babirag Roakan. Let me get this down here a little bit. Let me say it again. Rei Babirag Roakan. Shabir Ki Kol Emes. The whole thing is true. The Yisrael Sava Kolo Heim Ba'oz Aleph Shal Milui Hey Aleph. The Heim Ba'oz Yud Shal Milui Hey Yud. Now, Hey Aleph, I always wonder about this too, because there's 3 different ways to write Hey. The things that we're reading normally say Hey Aleph. So I assume that Hey Aleph has to do with the middle line, like Zeranpen type of thing. That's what I think. But Hey Yud would be on a higher level. Would be on, in Abba V'Ima, something like that. He said that it has to do with revealing it. So I don't, so anyway, it goes with both. V'Heim Ba'uketz Yemini Shal Oz Hey. So he says, well, that's what it is. So apparently something going to come up here. And we could do one more if you want, if you have time to just look at the next idea, because next time we're going to get into the Ri Saruk, which is really, he has, if you want to look at, we could look at it, just the top part, and he has some ideas that I'm not familiar with, and that's the problem. As in reading the Ri Saruk, he's teaching us something about this Yud, and let's just see what the number base says in Pirish the Ri Saruk. He says, "Bir kan defi darko," and also he explains over there, the achsa he Rachel. That idea there, right? Muda'atã is Leah. Ein Sham. So the famous is the idea was ba'achsa umodah. So we're trying to figure this out. So Rei b'ha'ara, so there's a ha'ara on this, and he goes back into the sheet that he's been talking about before, about this movement of this letter Yud. But the zer bir b'zel l'shona achsa l'muda'atã klilin da b'da. So they're like one. Pirush b'chinas Rachel. Shehi Nikras Achsa, she's the one that's called Achsa. She's called, so Achsa. That's her sister. Bechinas Leah Nikras Muda'atã, which is called Muda'atã. Klilin do b'dacha b'yud kei. In these 2 letters, you see them incorporated one with the other. Behind the Kedifrishis, Kedifrashti, La'el, Hakav Hamida, which is a middle line, Zu, B'chuber Hayud, B'malchus, Shebekesser, V'shal Ak. Now, let me just say this again, because it's something new. He says that Kalilin Dor B'Dor, behind the Kedifrishti, he says La'el Hakav Hamida, middle line, right? Zu mechaber. What does it do? It's a balance scale. It mechaber the Yud Sheba Malchus. Which Malchus are we talking about? It's the Kesser, the Malchus of the Kesser of Ak. Now, I don't know this exactly where it is. So he says it has something to do with the middle line. So you're making that keyboard there, that Yud. That's what his idea is. That Hey Yud. I think that might mean the Hey Yud. I'm not sure. And he's talking about Rachel and Leah, so, well. So he says, so that's where it is. It's the Kesser of Ak. It's the Malchus of that. There's a Yud there. He's going to mechaber that with the Hey, Sheba Nukve, the Zeranpin, to bring that with the Nukve, the Zeranpin. And tomorrow, Metzasham, we'll look at I know we're normally out of time here. So we'll look tomorrow at the ha'ara on this, try to get an idea. You could see that there are what we just say, moving. It's moving. The use of words over here in the different directions is moving around, and that's very interesting. You could call Achsa Mudata either Chachma Bina, you could call it Rachel and Leah, you could call it other things, maybe we don't know, but there's different perspectives in each. This is Baruch Flashman.